Hey, Severe Wolf here, going to be doing another FP VOD commentary on a Zerg vs Protoss B- level, and this is against a B- guy with pretty good stats. He is 44 and 9, so pretty good stats, and it was a pretty fun game. A lot of you guys have been asking to play a longer, or to have me do a longer game and see what late game is like. So this should suffice. It's a 30-minute game, so be ready for a long game. And I might get a little bit tired commentating on this since it's so long, and I might run out of things to say in the middle, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it regardless. This is on the map Tau Cross and Zerg vs Protoss B- level. I am going to open with a 9 overpull build, which is my favorite opening, especially on this map. Tau Cross, with that small choke, they can wall it in with a pylon and then do a stupid cannon rush. Very, very annoying to deal with. So opening with a pool first is always a good idea. And overpull is very, very economic while forcing your opponent to either cut probes to get a nexus first or to make a cannon first before nexus. So 9 overpull is always a good idea on any map. So right now, just going to be doing the standard overpull. And a couple things to say. In this game, I am going to be doing a build that I've been seeing F91 do. If you know, recently he beat Idra in the Liquid Vision show match. So it's a pretty good game to watch. He also beat JF, and I was analyzing those replays a lot. So right now I see his scouting probes coming out. I know that most Protoss will send their scouting probes a lot earlier, and I see that there's no fast expansion there. So I can already assume that the Protoss is at top left. But I am still going to check for if he did a perhaps 2-gate or a 1-gate. And I'm going to make my hatchery and then get 6 Zerglings and then go back into drone production. So 9 overpull, very, very safe. Very nice to use. So yeah, as I was saying, I've been doing the F91 build, and it's a pretty cool build. It's basically standard ZvP, but with a few variations that makes it a little bit more suitable for a lower level player to play rather than a high level Korean. So you can see that Protoss was just about to cheese me with that pylon block, but luckily I did do a pool first build, so he did not get to do it, and actually had to cancel the pylon, which actually cost maybe 30 minerals or so. And now I'm going to get my 3rd hatch. And notice how when I'm trying to kill the scouting probe, you always want to have one Zergling following the probe so you know where it is, and it can also get some free hits on that probe. But you have the rest of your Zerglings left behind, so you can intercept the probe when it comes in. That's the most effective way to kill enemy scouting probes, because otherwise they might take a very long time to kill off. So with the F91 variation of this build, there is a slightly later gas than normal ZvP. In normal ZvP, you will probably get your 3rd gas, or your 1st gas, directly after your 3rd hatchery. However, in this variation, you'll get it maybe 2 drones after your 3rd hatchery is placed down. This way you get a more economic build, and at the same time you are able to get your 4th hatchery down before your spire. So that's going to make transitions into Hydra or into drones or whatever you're doing a lot easier with that faster hatchery. So he did do a really weird wall in. I don't think he actually walled in. Unfortunately, in this game I did not take advantage of that. He actually only laid down 1 cannon, I think, but I didn't realize this until quite a long time after, so I was not able to take advantage of that. Usually if you see that, if he only has 1 cannon or a very bad wall in, you can actually attempt, well, not if he has 2 cannons, but if he only has 1 cannon, you definitely want to either try and pick it off or run by with a lot of lings if you're doing an overpull build. Because then you can just be really annoying and do a lot of economic damage inside of his base. So I think I forget an Overlord here, but it's not too late because it's not really going to hurt me that much because I just have so many hatcheries. I can make a lot of drones regardless. In this opening, I did not really scout too well with my Overlord because it got there so late. So I didn't really know if he got a second gas or not, which can actually tell quite a lot about what a Protoss player is doing. Now my Spire is finished, so I'll get my lair is finished, so I'll get my Spire. He's sending in 2 Zealots to harass, but it's not going to be able to do any damage. A lot of Protoss players at this point would use those 2 Zealots to get some scouting, but at this point he's going to be able to get his drone back in, his probe back in, so he's just going to run back those Zealots. So with the F91 variation of this build, the 3-hat lair, you get the Spire, but you already have your 4th hatchery, so you get a den very, very quickly after the Spire as well. So you get the den about 200 health, or when your Spire is about 200 health. And what this does is it allows you to fend off the Corsairs, and then use a couple of, it lets you use Scourge and stuff later. So after your Hydralisk den is done, what you want to do is you want to get your 5th hatchery, which you can see I've already done. Then you want to get an evolution chamber for +1 missile attack. You want to get a 2nd gas to support your 5 hatch Hydra. And then you want to get Overlord speed and Hydralisk speed. So you can see I've already started doing that. He's got 2 Corsairs out to harass right now. He's already picked off a lot of Overlords. So it was really annoying because I didn't have enough supply to make anything. And he picked off, I think, a total of 3 Overlords in this game from those 2 Corsairs. And it was very, very annoying because he had pretty fast Corsairs. Usually they're not going to be too fast. Usually they shouldn't be able to take out this many Overlords. But, oh, I think he took out 4 Overlords. So yeah, that's even more annoying. But really it's not going to be too big of a deal for me because I have a lot of money to make more Overlords. So yeah, he took out 5 Overlords. Very annoying, but I'm still able to deal with it. So generally, when I said you get the Hydralisk den, you get the 5th hatch, etc., and you go Hydras, that's applicable to most Zerg vs Protoss games, but it really depends on what your opponent is doing. I see he's getting Singularity Charge for his Dragoons, and I see about 3 gateways and a robotics facility, so I know he's going Goon Reaver. So there's a lot of situations where going Mutas would be better, etc., going Lurkers, anything like that. But in general, going 5 hatch Hydra into getting your 6 base is pretty effective as long as you can micro away from storms. But this build is most effective against a Protoss who is doing a 4 gate 2 Archon build, because with your Hydras you're going to be able to deal with the first push, and immediately later you can get a bunch of Mutalisks, and with those Mutalisks you will be able to take out High Templar. So I see he's already got a Reaver out, and this means he's going to be pushing with a fairly strong push pretty soon, probably after his 2nd Reaver and his shuttle. So that means right now I've got to start massing up a lot of units. What is crucial about F91's build, and what I have just realized, and it's very, very important, is you always want to get drones until about 45 supply in a standard game, and then after that you start making a lot of units, because if you start making too many units after that, you're just not going to have a very good economy to deal with the first attack of a Protoss. So you can see my drone saturation actually right now is not too good. He took out a lot of my Overlords, so it was really hard for me to get drones, so I do have a little bit worse of an economy than I normally have. But it's not going to affect me too much because later in the game, since I have so many hatcheries, I'll just be able to make a lot of drones later as well. So right now I'm just dealing with his attack. My 3rd gas goes up. Your 3rd gas wants to go up once your 3rd gas wants to go up once your what is it? The grooved spines finish for the Hydralisk. So the range upgrade for the Hydralisk. Oh wait, no. You get the 3rd gas when your Hydralisk speed finishes. Sorry. And right now I'm just getting some Mutalisks because Mutalisks are pretty good against Reaver Goon because they allow you to pick off the Reaver fairly easily.